The moment the blindfold came off, Mr. Beast gasped. He was standing in the middle of a freezing Viking village. Wooden longhouses towered around him, smoke rising from the chimneys, and snow blanketed the muddy ground. A horn echoed through the air. "Welcome to your worst nightmare." Chandler laughed, dressed as a Viking warrior. Suddenly, 5 massive Viking men approached. Beards down to their chests, fur cloaks and axes slung over their shoulders. One slammed a heavy shield into the ground. "You survive like us for 24 hours, or you fail the challenge," he growled. Mr. Beast shivered, staring at the wooden huts, the roaring fires, and the butchered animal skins hanging to dry. No smartphones, no electricity, just raw survival. The horn blew again. First task, build your own shelter before sunset, or freeze. Mr. Beast swallowed hard. "Oh, this is going to be rough." Mr. Beast grabbed a rusty axe and stared at the dense pine forest. The Vikings pointed toward the trees. "Chop wood, or no shelter." He swung the axe and it bounced right off the tree. "Dude, how do they do this?" he shouted. Chandler and Carl, both in Viking costumes, were laughing uncontrollably, while barely lifting logs themselves. His hands blistered quickly. The axe was heavy, and the wood was frozen solid. Each swing felt like lifting a car. Hours passed. Mr. Beast managed to drag enough logs to a small clearing. The Vikings showed no mercy. "Now, build. No instructions. Figure it out." With trembling hands, he stacked logs, tied them with vines, and tried to build walls. The logs kept falling. "Bro, this is way harder than Minecraft." Mr. Beast groaned. As the sun dipped lower, panic set in. If the shelter wasn't done by sunset, he was sleeping in the snow. As darkness fell, icy winds sliced through the village. Mr. Beast finally managed a crooked, shaky shelter, barely holding together. Then, a Viking dropped a pile of rocks and sticks at his feet. "Fire! No fire, you freeze." Mr. Beast stared. "Bro, I have never lit a fire without a lighter in my life." He fumbled with flint and steel sparks flying, but landing uselessly on damp wood. His fingers were numb. "It's not working," he shouted, rubbing sticks together desperately. Vikings stood nearby, shaking their heads. One muttered, "Weakling!" Just when he was about to give up, Carl accidentally dropped his fur glove right onto the embers. It caught fire. "Yes!" Mr. Beast screamed, throwing twigs and branches over it. Flames roared to life. His hands hovered over the warmth face, glowing red. For the first time today, he felt alive. At dawn, the freezing air woke Mr. Beast as the Viking horn echoed across the village. A Viking tossed him something wrapped in animal skin. Breakfast, eat, or starve. Mr. Beast unwrapped it and nearly gagged. It was fermented shark meat, dried fish, and a bowl of something that smelled like rotten cheese. "Bro, this smells like death." He grimaced, holding his nose. Chandler laughed. "It's protein, man. Eat it." The Vikings gathered, watching him closely. One shouted, "Vikings never waste food." Mr. Beast took a tiny bite and instantly gagged, coughing. His face turned pale. "It's sour and sweet and oh no." But he forced it down bite after bite as the Vikings cheered wildly. When he finally finished one, Viking slapped his back so hard he nearly fell. "Now? You eat like us." Next challenge. Fight. A Viking roared, tossing a wooden shield and a blunt axe to Mr. Beast. "Wait, we're actually fighting." Mr. Beast gasped, gripping the heavy shield. A massive Viking with tattoos down his arms stepped forward, grinning. "Defend yourself, or fall." The horn blew. The Viking charged. Mr. Beast screamed, raising his shield just in time to block a heavy strike. The impact nearly knocked him backward. He swung wildly with the axe missing, completely spinning in circles. "Bro, this is insane!" The Viking knocked him flat on his back. Chandler and Carl burst out laughing, but Mr. Beast gritted his teeth, got up, and charged again. His swings were clumsy, but the crowd of Vikings started cheering. Blow after blow, shield up, axe down, slipping in the snow. But Mr. Beast refused to quit. Finally, the big Viking laughed, dropped his weapon, and hugged him. "You fight like a weak Viking. But you fight, No Viking survives without hunting, a gruff voice growled. Mr. Beast was handed a crude wooden bow, a handful of arrows, and a spear. The snow-covered forest loomed ahead. Find food or starve. Bro, I've only hunted in video games, Mr. Beast muttered, stepping cautiously into the trees. Footprints in the snow caught his eye. Wait, is that a rabbit? He pulled back the bowstring. It snapped right out of his hand. No! Chandler was supposed to help, but instead got his spear stuck in a tree. After hours of failure, Mr. Beast noticed a trap set by the Vikings. Inside a rabbit. Is this cheating? A Viking shrugged. If you find it, it's yours. Mr. Beast held up the rabbit triumphantly. I am the mighty hunter, he shouted as Carl pretended to faint dramatically in the snow. As night fell, the Vikings dragged Mr. Beast, Chandler, and Carl to the village fire pit. Tonight, you feast like warriors. A giant slab of roasted boar spun over the fire. Animal skulls decorated the wooden tables. Jugs of some foul-smelling drink sloshed around. Bro, is this a feast or a horror movie? Mr. Beast whispered, eyeing a pot of something bubbling suspiciously. The Vikings chanted. A massive plate was slammed in front of Mr. Beast's boar. Meat, roasted fish, blood, sausage, and something wiggling. Nah, nope, that's moving. I ain't eating that, he gasped. A Viking woman grinned and slammed a horn of Viking ale into his hand. Drink. It gives courage. Mr. Beast gulped it, then coughed, violently. Bro, that's gasoline disguised as beer. Carl bit into the roasted fish, gagged, but forced a thumbs up. Chandler tried the blood sausage and immediately regretted it. Despite the fear, laughter filled the air. The Vikings sang, banging their mugs together, and roasted them playfully for being the weakest warriors. After the feast, the Vikings pointed to a pile of hay inside a drafty wooden hut. Your bed! Mr. Beast looked inside. No blankets, no mattresses, just straw. The cold wind sliced right through the wooden walls. Bro, I'm about to become an ice cube. He shivered. Chandler tried piling hay over himself like a blanket. Carl attempted to block the wind with firewood, but it barely worked. Mr. Beast curled into a ball, teeth chattering. Why did I think this was a good idea? Wolves howled in the distance. The wooden hut creaked. Every gust of wind felt like needles stabbing through skin. Suddenly, one Viking stomped in, threw an animal fur at them. Fine. Weaklings, take this. Bro. He does love us. Mr. Beast laughed weakly, wrapping himself in the fur. Even with the fur, it was the coldest night of their lives, but they survived. At sunrise, the Vikings gathered around the frozen river. One banged his shield. Final trial, the test of cold. Into the water, or fail. Mr. Beast's jaw dropped. You want us to jump into that? The river was partly frozen with a hole cut in the ice. Steam rose from their mouths as they breathed. Chandler stared at it. Bro, I can't even handle a cold shower. The Vikings roared. Vikings embrace the cold. Show strength or shame. Mr. Beast took a deep breath. If I survive this, I better get 10 million likes. He stripped down to Viking undergarments, ran, and jumped. Splash, it's so cold, he screamed, flailing in the icy water. Chandler followed, screaming louder. Carl tripped and accidentally fell in. Vikings cheered wildly, banging shields. Now, you are truly one of us. As Mr. Beast, Chandler, and Carl stumbled out of the freezing river, dripping and shivering, the Vikings surrounded them. A towering Viking elder stepped forward, holding a heavy iron medallion shaped like a battle axe. You have survived fire-cold battle and hunger, he boomed. The elder placed the medallion around Mr. Beast's neck. You are now honorary Vikings. The entire village erupted in cheers. Shields banged, horns blew, and a massive fire was lit in the center of the village. Mr. Beast raised his medallion. Bro, we did it. 24 hours as Vikings. Never again, Chandler collapsed into the snow. I want my heated blanket, Carl laughed. Bro. Next challenge, 24 hours in a hot tub, please. The video ended with all of them dancing awkwardly with the Vikings around the fire, laughing, exhausted but victorious. As the screen faded, the text appeared, "Like and subscribe," or "The Vikings are coming for you."